My guest today is Joe Martinez, Director of Client Strategy at Clix Marketing. Joe has been on PPC Hero's list of the top 25 most influential PPC experts for the past 3 years. He has a deep understanding of paid media, but he's really become a go-to resource for everything related to YouTube and Quora Ads. He co-hosts his own video series, Paid Media Pros, which covers topics related to YouTube advertising, paid placements, paid social, and Quora ads. Joe's a perfect guest for Suds and Search. Not only is he an industry expert, he's a big fan of craft beer, especially from breweries in his hometown of Milwaukee. Joe, thanks so much for coming on Suds and Search. This is really a big get, and we're really excited to have you on. Maybe for our audience, give a little bit of background on what you do and what you speak about.
Sure. I'm Joe Martinez. I am the Director of Client Strategy at Clix Marketing. I've been in paid media solely pretty much for almost a decade. Do anything my clients want related to paid ads, but if I had to choose like my favorites, the channels I love to work with, it'd be kind of a tie between YouTube and Quora.
Awesome. And you're right up the road. You're in Milwaukee, so I'm having a beer from Beguile here. Let's do like a virtual cheers.
There, I'll stick mine up so we can see it.
What are you having there? That's a beautiful can.
It is juiced. So I got it from Broken Bat Brewery in Milwaukee. It's a baseball themed brewery. So this one is juiced double IPA.
Man, this is a real Midwest special here. I'm happy to have you on.
Cheers.
So we met. I heard you speak at SMX West. You were talking about YouTube ads there.
Yep.
One of the things that you said that was really it was interesting because it was almost from a PPC mindset. You don't think this way, but you said when was the last time you wanted to buy something and you went on YouTube?
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm paraphrasing it exactly right, but
yep.
YouTube is the second biggest search engine, but it's not where you go to necessarily buy things.
No. I mean, I look if I go personally, why do I go to YouTube? It is, I'll watch people play video games, but I mean, the main reason I go to is honestly to listen to music. And if someone says, hey, watch this video, or if I missed clips, I'm a massive Star Wars fan and they always release teasers and other videos. So, I mean, I go there to be entertained, whether it's music, watch people play video games, or, look at my Star Wars stuff. Not client related, of course, personally, me personally, but
Right.
That's what I go there to do. But I'm an advertiser, so I'm biased. I do YouTube ads, so I'm very biased, but I still see ads and reminders that it's like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, what's that? I don't care if it's a movie trailer or if it's a cool little gadget, or I saw a home brewing system hit me up one time because they got my interest, right? So we go there to be entertained, but it doesn't mean we can't learn about something that we are actually interested in, may want to buy.
No, it's really interesting. I had Susan Winograd on another episode, and one of the things I talked to her about is I got into my first job ever in this industry was a junior PPC analyst, and that was in 2007. And so the idea of being on the paid side, and I've since gone over to SEO, and so it's some of the stuff I'm catching up on. But
yeah,
one of the biggest things that's changed is now you're really a paid media person. So you're expected to not just know Google and Bing. You're expected to know something about YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and potentially LinkedIn and Amazon. And the first question is can anybody really be a paid media expert across all these different platforms? Do you think so?
Honestly, no. I think it's very hard. I mean, I haven't touched a ton of Amazon. I haven't done a ton with Pinterest. There's stuff we currently do with clients, but I just don't have clients that really fit within those certain buckets. I mean, we can really expand. We have a lot of SaaS clients at Clix, so they do a lot of Capterra marketing. And everyone's like, what's Capterra? If you don't do SaaS type products, you won't know, but that's a platform that has PPC ads where you can really promote your SaaS product. So there's a lot of different channels. It really just comes down to who you work with. If you're in-house, you might be more bucketed into one sort of area. That's kind of the beauty of agency life is if you come across a variety of clients, you can learn a ton of different channels. And there are a lot of different options out there that could satisfy. I don't recommend every single channel for every single client that I have. It just doesn't make sense all the time.
Well, I loved your talk on YouTube ads, and I liked it's a different intention. It's a different audience that you're looking for than I would think of in a typical paid search ad. You can go all up and down the funnel. One of the things that I'm interested in is just making sure I get my metrics right. We're so used to in paid search looking at conversions and cost per conversions. You mentioned earned actions is an underutilized metric. What is that, and how can people use that?
Yeah, earned actions, they're their own column set within Google Ads. So in terms of that, I think that shows how important they are by themselves. If you can select them all as their columns. So if someone watches your ad, whether you're paying for that ad or not, just the way YouTube ads work, there are additional actions that users can take that the advertiser still will not pay for. So let's say someone sees your video ad, they watch at least 30 seconds, or it's a discovery ad, so they're paying for it. The advertiser is paying for it. If that user, after watching your ad, they watch other videos, they like other videos, they share your videos, they add it to a playlist, they subscribe to your channel, all those additional actions are free, no matter how many of those actions they take. So it's important to know that, are you engaging with that user? To me, that's more important, because again, they're not there. Like I said, we have a lot of SaaS clients. It's pretty typical to show someone a TrueView InStream ad and be like, yes, all right, give me that free trial right away. I want to sign up. Here we go. Here's thousands of dollars. Here, we'll just buy it right away without even thinking about it, right? How many people do that? No, but if they're subscribing, if you have a video series, or, it doesn't have to be SaaS. Look at any other industry out there. If you have a lot of video content and people are engaging, I want to try to focus on the people who are watching multiple videos, who are subscribing to my channel and want to see more video content. That's the valuable user that we can focus on. That's a measurement of success. Now let's focus on really marketing to those users first, but then still filling the top of the funnel with more video engagement.
I love this idea. So you can build out these audience lists. How do you then? So if I have an audience list, I've done all this work. How can I don't know, weaponize that? How can I use that to help fill my other marketing channels?
Yep, you can use those YouTube user audiences, and those earned actions can be made as audiences within Google Ads. So I can create an audience from anyone who watched any of my video for the past 540 days. I can create an audience of people who watched a specific video only as an ad. There's a lot of different combinations that we could do to create these video view or engagement audiences. And then we can use it for remarketing on search. We can remarket to those engaged users with more YouTube ads, or we can do Gmail ads. We used to be able to do it with regular display image ads, but they took that away. We can't use YouTube user audiences for display anymore, except Gmail. So, it's still a way to get in front of someone. If you have some clever ads that you can do, hey, if I know they watched this video, they saw these products in this video, you can hit them up with a product-focused Gmail ad and at least remarket to them and then drive those users to the website again.
Yeah, it's still a lot of eyeballs there. It comes down to, I think, really understanding audiences a lot better than I would say just a junior PPC analyst in 2007 would. One of the things this is actually your third video with SearchLab. I don't know if you know that. I think you've appeared on the most videos of anyone. You've been on 2 with Greg, and he asks you for these. Yes. He asks you for these tips, these marketing tips. One of the ones that you mentioned, I think it's like the beginning of the year. Your best tips for 2020 were to try custom intent audiences, which I'm not sure. Is it now called a custom intent audiences? Because I want to make sure I get the wording right.
It depends on the account. Not every account has it yet, which is funny. So it's been close to a year, if not longer. When at one of the Google Marketing Live summits, they announced that custom intent and custom affinity audiences were merging.
Right.
In most of my accounts, it hasn't happened yet. I'm kind of nervous for it too, because they do behave differently. Yeah. But either or, it's custom intent was more like people active research mode. Custom affinity is like more people have shown interest in the past. For the most part, if there's an in-market audience that really applies, I'll still use it. I think affinity audiences are crazy broad, and I never use basic affinity audiences.
Interesting.
But either way, a custom affinity audience from the YouTube side is based off of search queries that people typed into google.com. Where a custom audience if you do it from the display network side, it's not based off of google.com search terms. That's only available for YouTube targeting. So when people say yeah, there's like, oh, there's no intent in YouTube advertising. I was like, oh, there's a lot of intent. So we're basing it off of what people are searched for. Even though it's broad match related, it's still pretty close. And so many times my custom intent audiences outperform remarketing, because
Really?
you can drive a lot of traffic to your website. Does everyone who come to your website want to convert? How many of those visits, those people are on your website for a couple seconds and left, you're still remarketing to them. But if I can go after someone who was searching for my competitors or searching for my exact products or similar behaviors of my products, to me, that's more important than a site visitor. I have more intent with that audience.
That's so clever. So I could create a custom intent audience. I could put all my competitors as the keywords, and then I would begin to appear for anyone who is searching for my competitors in Google search.
Potentially. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
The other tip you had on Local Search Tuesdays was to try longer videos. There's a lot of talk. Anytime I see a YouTuber, you get a lot of questions about length of video. And it was interesting to hear. I always hear, keep them short, keep them within a certain time period. You said, give a long video a shot.
Longer tail video content, I think that is perfect for TrueView discovery campaigns, because those TrueView discovery ads are the only video ad format where we can target specifically the YouTube search results page. And those are where people go in and type in keywords just like any other search engine. So if people are going to YouTube, they're going there to specifically watch video. The in-stream ones that are, in the beginning, middle, of end of a video, user someone watched, I'd keep those more commercial-like. A user wanted to watch that music video, they wanted to watch that cat video, whatever. But if someone's looking for an answer, like, how do I make this? What recipe is this? How do I install a car seat? Which honestly, that was how I figured out which car seat I wanted to buy when I had my kids. I was like, whichever one's the easiest, that's the one I'm getting, because I've heard it's a pain in the ass. So I watched, and honestly, that's how I bought 4 car seats from this one company, because I saw the video. So you can be there with a discovery ad as the top results, capitalize on that search intent, but then embrace the long video. Don't force it to be long for the sake of being long, but if it's demonstrative, if it's answering users' questions, if it's solving problems, if it has valuable content in it, embrace it. In that same presentation, we gave an example of, we ran a 30-minute TrueView discovery ad, and the highest point, we had 7% of the people watching all 30 minutes because we figured out the perfect targeting for it. We were very specific with how we were targeting that video. So, and we were paying pennies to get people to engage with our brand for 30 minutes from these longer tail video content.
You also have a specialty in Quora. What's the audience on Quora? Who's using it? Who should advertise on Quora?
Quora is a lot bigger than you think, because Quora has more active users than Pinterest does. So if you're saying who is on Quora, my real basic answer is almost anybody. You can find any specific niche of topic that there's questions. So if you're not familiar with Quora, I would really by default say it's like a Q&A site. People go there to ask questions, and people go there to answer questions, to be the authority on certain topics. And all those questions are bucketed into topics. So you can search by question, you could search by topic, and I've found answers to issues I've had in terms of, even I've looked up recipes, I've looked up how to fix things and everything, and those questions were all on Quora, and I could find those and get the solution to what I need. And from a marketer's perspective, in so many different verticals, your audience is on there. No matter how big or how small, you can still get in front of a very specific audience, or you can cast a great awareness net and toss that out there to a lot of the basic topics that are out there for people to target.
Wow. One of the things when I kind of research what YouTube is talking about, a lot of who they see as their competition is like your TV set. Like who's on TV. Do you feel like the activity that the consumer that you're targeting when you're running YouTube ads is very similar to somebody who used to advertise on TV?
It can be. In certain industries I've seen it competitive. I think I I haven't worked with a lot of like massive brands with, millions of dollars to spend just on YouTube ads. I haven't worked with that. So in terms of some of the more specific clients I've dealt with, probably around 2 of them in the past have actually done TV ads. They have actually shifted their budget more to online video. And it wasn't all just YouTube. They have shifted more to do they've done some Facebook and Instagram, just video in general. And some have shifted to even looking at potentially like Hulu and Spotify instead for their advertising platform, just because they just see better results for them. They like that measurability of it, that they can track results and see the impact, get the engagement response directly from their audience. But it doesn't mean that they have stopped on TV completely.
I love it. I think one of the cool things about you and some of these video ads is people aren't as obsessed about the conversion, the almighty conversion and getting attribution for everything. That you kind of see it as a part of a larger marketing strategy. What metrics do you really obsess over? What are the things that really show your value?
Yeah. We already talked about the earned actions. That's definitely one that we always keep in mind from the YouTube side. The next thing I'm going to look at is going to be my view through rate and the percentage that the user is watching the video. We like to think there's like this unofficial quality score with view through rate. The more often people are watching it and the longer they're watching it, the less that we see people that we actually have to pay for the video, if we have to pay for that video at all with the way YouTube advertising works. So I mean, by habit, I default like to create ad group targeting at like 25 cents just to see what I get for it for 25 cents a view. I've never paid the full 25 cents ever.
No kidding.
Even if I think the targeting isn't the greatest, we're just giving it a shot. On average, I see it down to like 3 to 7 cents. And then I'm like, okay, we're barely paying anything for it. Now that I'm going to start increasing my CPV just to get more impressions and more reach. So it's one of those things where like, it's not expensive at all. And there's really no excuse why people should be doing it. I'm going to have a video come out tomorrow. Well, by the time this releases, it's already going to be out. Of Google just released a video builder tool. It's in beta. You have to sign up for it to get access to it. But they have about a dozen or so templates that you can free. You just have to upload a few images, fill in a few text items, and then they're making 6 to 15 second ads for you. And then you can just automatically upload them to Google Ads and start running them. And a lot of these are all the in-stream ones. And then you only have to pay for them if the user watches the whole thing. So if you're creating a 15, 16 second ad, and then they're only watching like 10 seconds and skipping it, you'll never pay for that ad.
Free.
So they're giving you a free video tool to create it, and you can potentially get a bunch of free advertising and brand awareness. There's absolutely no excuse anymore of like, we can't afford video. We can't do it anymore. Like, there's no excuses anymore. If you don't want to do it now, now you're just lazy.
Yeah, right. Like I'm just thinking about like the cost per click for an attorney or something like that on Google. It's got, I mean, the cost difference is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to, I think Quora was a perfect platform. At my previous agency, we worked with a lawyer who those terms on search were crazy. Like they didn't have a massive budget, or they didn't want to spend a massive budget on it, but we could target that specific problem that people had, that they needed that lawyer. And like we were paying like maybe 20 cents to get these people who needed the lawyer, and they were converting crazy heavily instead of paying hundreds of dollars for these keywords per keyword on Google.
Seriously.
So,
seriously.
YouTube, Quora, you have to research these alternative channels, because even if I'm talking about it, even if a massive flood of people go to these channels, they're still not going to be as expensive as what we think of LinkedIn or Google. So that's why I love these channels. It offers us to be more creative in our copy, not just like slapping a keyword as the headline. It actually lets us focus on marketing, but also finding our audience where they're at in that moment. If they're searching on YouTube, if they're looking up questions on Quora, that intent is still really, really high. And we can do more with our marketing and trigger more emotions with our ad creative in these channels that can have a better connection, whether you're filling the top of the funnel or trying to get that conversion.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I think you spend less and get more. That's a good solution for anybody.
Yeah, that's why not?
All right. We also got to know each other because you're friends with Greg Gifford. He said, you hinted at it earlier, but he said, I can't let you off here without asking you about your fandom of Star Wars.
So now you know he wasn't lying.
He's a pretty big Star Wars fan. Do you guys kind of geek out at conference dinners and stuff like that, talking about Star Wars?
At that first conference you mentioned that was in Austin. We talked about like the Void game, because when we were both in Vegas, I got to do the Star Wars Void experience thing, which was crazy awesome. And he was telling me that he's got he's got the virtual reality set thing, which I don't have, which I want to play. But yeah, it comes up. It definitely comes up every time we talk about something, that or video games, anything Star Wars related. I know he went to the Star Wars land and stuff, so we always get it in there for sure.
Awesome. Well, I hope, we'll see what happens. We're filming this right now during the COVID pandemic, so we'll see if we get to any conferences this year. But, Joe, I appreciate you coming out. I hope we don't get to a conference. I hope I'll be in Milwaukee before long. I'd love to just come up there and kick it. So
yep,
if I'm in town, I'll look you up. And if you're in Chicago, look me up.
I had Chicago concerts postponed, so we'll see when they get rescheduled, and hopefully I can be down there again.
All right. Always good to have a Midwest guy on the show, and I'll look you up next time I'm in Milwaukee, or if I don't see you at a conference sooner.
Deal. Cheers again.
All right, man. Cheers.